So we're here for another crazy round of football.
Oh my god! I mean, that's pretty good, but man, you're a bit too much there.
I'm pretty excited.
All right, fair enough. That's fair enough. I can't complain. I can't say anything to that, man. All right, welcome to No Cap. It's Sol, Benny.
How are you, mate?
I'm great. Yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Jacob?
Back again, boys.
Taken aback a bit there by that intro, eh?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Well, you're going to get that if I'm going to get 7 out of 8.
Oh, that's why 7 out of 8. Okay, we'll talk about that quickly. And the research guru, Fred.
Hey, mate.
You haven't done much in the last couple of weeks, have you?
No, I was too busy with the UFC last week. But
Boxing.
But
Yeah.
I wouldn't really call it boxing, but, you know.
Yeah, fair enough.
But, you know, I love that intro.
Yeah, fair enough.
Excitement just brings new energy to the podcast.
Well, I hope it brings you energy into your researching because we're going to need you today. And so, yeah, man, what impressed you guys from last week?
Yeah, obviously, the first thing that sort of stood out would have been the Dogs getting off the mark there.
Finally, eh?
Finally.
Oh, God.
It wasn't easy. I thought they might give it away towards the end of that game. Sharks were a bit unlucky as well. Obviously, they had a few no tries and bombed a few chances there. So, but you know, for the Dogs to stick in there for the whole game and get the win, that'll be massive for them. And proud and happy about that. And someone else that stood out, Matt Burton, like he is taking it by storm.
Yeah.
And now you see Penrith, they've realised what they've let go, and I think they've left it a bit too late now. And he's committed to the Dogs, and good on him. And can't wait to see him in the blue and white next year.
100%.
Exciting stuff.
Oh, yeah. And that's the main thing. He's committed. Like, he even came out and said, yeah, I'm going to the Dogs. There's no more funny games. Like, it's done. That's it. And also, the signing of Naden, just yesterday or today, I mean, that's massive for the Dogs. You got to look at their potential backline next year. It looks a bit scary now. Yeah,
it looks pretty good. And the thing is, there's depth now. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't fit everyone in that side. Like,
no.
You know, who are you going to put in the centres? You got options now, and even the same for the wing.
And it's quality. There's quality options now. So it's a good problem to have now.
It is, and it's something that the Dogs haven't had for a while. So I'm sure they'll take that with both hands.
Don't they have the young kid as well coming through the ranks as well?
Poor Alamori.
Alamori, yeah. So, yeah, well, they've re-signed him. So, yeah, like you said, there is depth now, and they're getting quality players, and they're not, you know, Barrett said on 360, we're not paying overs for anyone. So, you got to trust the process. Benny, Dogs impressed you?
I
know what impressed you. You're tipping. Go, talk about it. Let's go. Don't be shocked.
Yeah. It is my tipping. 7 out of 8 isn't bad.
Hey, which one did you get wrong?
The one that you told me not to.
We three of us told you don't do it, and you didn't listen. You could have jumped Jared, but unlucky.
Look, let Jared have his fun for another week.
It was a pretty good performance, 7 out of 8. I said, man, I'm not going to question you. Like, even today, I'm going to agree with everything you go with, except Parramatta, because I know what you're going to do there. Yeah, I can't go past Canterbury, honestly. Man, like, even when they were 18-0 up, you knew it's not done. They had to get one more. Like, then you'd be a bit more safe. They're always going to have that good half, and then, you know, that bad half was coming. They defended about 4 sets in a row, and they were defending 6 again, like on the 4th tackle, 6 again, 4th tackle. Man, like, they showed something. They showed fight. They showed they're actually an NRL team. You know what I mean? Last couple of weeks, they would have folded. And Cronulla's not a crap team. They're a top 8 side. You can't say that they're whatever missing players or nothing. They had Sean Johnson back as well. So that was a massive, massive confidence boost. Going into this week, we'll talk about it against Parramatta. I don't feel like they're overconfident, you know what I mean? I feel like it's given them a bit more, you know, like we can compete. We can do something here. Might not win, but we'll be competitive. That's the thing that I got out of it.
And you got to like that.
Yeah.
What impressed me the most is Manly and the Titans.
Yep.
So Manly playing the way that they did and able to rest Tom Trbojevic 15 minutes left on the clock. Like, they took him off the field and go, look, the game's done, dusted.
Probably would have rested him at half time, honestly, the way that game went. What about Titans as well, you're saying?
Yeah, like Titans and their shocking performance.
Oh, that disappointed you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they should have won that game, shouldn't they?
It wasn't shocking. Well, it was a high scoring game, 40-30, and Rabbitohs turned up to play. Probably wasn't their best performance for
I wouldn't say first half.
For Souths.
I wouldn't say first half.
For Titans, sorry, but yeah. It looked like Titans were going away with it, I think, and then Souths just hung in there. And Benji Marshall just took it by storm, didn't he?
My God, Benji, man! Give him a 10-year contract, bro. He can still play, honestly. How many teams are hitting themselves now that didn't sign him? Honestly.
Well, the Dogs are one, that's for sure.
100%.
It's nice to see forwards scoring hat tricks. David Fafita, his third hat trick this year.
I know, but he needs more help, man. He can't do it alone. I think he was on 130 Supercoach points by half time. Ended up on 140. He did nothing second half because you can't just do it for 80 minutes. That kind of, you know what I mean? That kind of impact. He did his job. Yeah, he did his job. Now you got to finish the game off. Where the halves disappeared, the spine disappeared, man.
Yeah, I think he's very tactical in the way he plays too. You probably don't see it as much because you concentrate too much on the fact that he's scoring all these great tries, and good on him because he's such a strong and a big player and obviously attracts a lot of defenders, but he probably doesn't work as hard as he could. So coming out of his own line, those big carries, he's more that guy where you give it to him 20 out from the line or 30 out from the line and he'll do damage. Not saying he's not a great player. He's a star of the game and could be potentially in a few years the best forward in our game, but I think he's got a lot to work on to make sure that he gets to that level so that he can put in a full 80-minute performance.
Definitely, and that'll come again. We can talk about it. Come with experience, come with time. He'll learn. That is a learning curve for Titans there. A game against one of the competition favourites, they should have won, and they're going to kick themselves for losing that one. Let's go straight to the topics now. You're talking about Tigers before. What the hell is going on there? All week they were talking Maguire's going to get sacked. There's mixed messages. Some are supporting him, some aren't. They're in a really bad spot at the moment.
Yeah, well, we saw this a few weeks ago with Cronulla.
Yeah.
It was a very similar situation, and even it happens at every club. When a coach is on the verge of getting sacked, all these reports start coming out. Then you obviously have the people that are with him, the people that are against him, and if these performances keep happening, he probably will. Whether it's the right or wrong call, I'm not too sure, because if you look at past records from their previous coaches, their winning percentage isn't that great. I don't think any of them have above 50%, and that's including Tim Sheens, who went and won a premiership with him in 2005. So,
yeah.
I think there's a lot in sort of the back that's wrong. And you look at their recruitment, you look at the players they've lost, like Aaron Woods, James Tedesco, Mitch Moses, Pappenhausen, Addo Carr, the Sirenan boys.
You can do a full squad, and it's a top 4 side.
Yeah,
the players that they've let go, honestly. You're talking about the behind the scenes, and that's where the issue is. It's the people that run the club. It can't be the coach. You can't have 5 coaches in 9 years, and they're the issue. You can't. It's impossible. It's always an old saying. Old coach Jack Gibson said, if your front office isn't steady and doing its job, you're never going to get results on the field. You're never going to get to where you want to. And I feel like people there have been there for a long time and past their due date, man, honestly. They got to go. Can't just keep blaming the coach because it's the easy option. It doesn't make sense to me that their New South Wales Cup team's coming second, flying, and the NRL team's that bad. It does not make sense to me, man. It makes no sense.
Well, look, it's shocking to see that a great club like this going this poorly. Yeah, they got to make changes, and they got to make it quick, because to fly in at number 9 or 10 this year again for 3 or 4 years straight is unacceptable for a club.
Yeah, but do you see them actually making the 8? Because I don't.
No, they won't, but they'll fly in at number 9. And that's their lucky number.
I don't even think they'll get to 9th, mate, honestly. I actually don't think they'll get to 9th. Unless they... what's their strategy? You look at teams rebuilding like Bulldogs, yeah? You can kind of tell the type of player they're buying. You can tell the type of team they want to become, right? And where they're heading. They're not worried about wins in the short term. They're worried about how they're going to look in 18 months, right? Tigers just want to win 1 or 2 games here, you know what I mean, to take the pressure off them. There's no strategy. There's no strategy there, man. Like, they didn't give Michael Maguire, hey, we're going to give you this amount of time, do this. They want to sack him because it's the easy option. They're only going to have to pay $600K or something. A new coach is not going to change this in this instance.
But like, who are their coaching? Options if they decide to go down the sacking Michael Maguire option?
Well, it doesn't matter. You can get in on it.
Whoever they bring in isn't gonna do a better job than Maguire. You got to fix the CEO, the general managers, the admin, the HR.
But who's gonna get rid of him? Who?
The members.
Do they have a say, really?
Well, they should.
They should.
I imagine they have a leagues club backing them as well.
But they're a joint venture, so you got different voices from two different clubs still fighting. Like, it's a really ugly marriage right now. I'll tell you right now, the only thing that saved this merger was the premiership. If there was no premiership, they would have split this 5 years ago.
That was like long time
but
ago.
there's history now. Like, you can't just say, oh, no, get rid of them. You can't do that. When you win a premiership, it's very hard to just say, yeah, sack this. We're just going to become one club again. Because that history just disappears. It's like it never happened. And people don't want that to go away. You know what I mean? Well, one brand's going to get lost. You can't. So I honestly don't know what's going on there.
Which part of that brand would you mind letting go? The west part or the inner west part?
It's very hard, man. You can't just get rid of Magpies or Tigers. You can't. Because they're foundation clubs. Can't just tell them, yep, stuff is, you're gone. Like North Sydney. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that anymore. Also, another team that really I can't believe, like, you go on the weekend and you see players, or they let go last year, they let go this year, they're going to let go next year, Brisbane Broncos. Look at the names like Sam Walker, man of the match performance on Anzac Day without Tedesco, took over that game. He was a Brisbane player, a Brisbane junior. Reece Walsh, he was in Brisbane. Junior, let go of him, went to Warriors. I know it was against Melbourne. They didn't play that well, but he played really well for a debut.
Yeah.
David Fafita, how do you let him go? Tom Dearden, gone. Tony Staggs, I'm hearing he's going to go.
But let me stop you there.
Yeah.
The price tag that Tom Dearden got given to go to the Cowboys, do you reckon he is worth the money that he's getting paid to go over to the Cowboys? He hasn't proven anything.
His manager came out and said Brisbane didn't even offer him. They didn't even offer him a contract. He wanted to stay. These kids don't care. They want to stay. Why would they want to leave?
Yeah, Broncos is like...
They're a shambles, man.
They're every Queenslander aspires to
used to
want to play for. And if they get that stuff sorted, old mate won't care about leaving for 100K more because they want to play for the Broncos. And, you name all those players, and you add like someone like Jai Arrow on top of that as well.
Yeah, another one.
Who's a Brisbane junior. And then they go and they buy all these players for so much money, and just turns to rubbish. And they have the best juniors coming through. They've got a whole city to themselves.
The whole suburbs. They own all the suburbs around there.
It's all to themselves.
Yeah, but this is like the similar scenario with the Parramatta and the junior Paulo letting him go to Canberra and then buying him for overs.
Yeah, we're talking about a lot of players.
Talking about that are juniors
that are great players
that grew in that Brisbane system. That, you know what I mean? They were going to become something. Like, they're complaining, like you said, about players. They can't attract players. They can't. You just let go of a dynasty. You just let go of a possible dynasty. These kids are going to become something. You know what I mean?
Walker might be potentially playing Origin in a couple of years.
He's 18 and he's doing this. Barring injury, knock on wood, this kid's going to be a superstar. He's the next superstar. David Feeder's the next superstar. Reece Walsh, he looks like Ponga. I hadn't seen him play before. I looked at him, like, you've been complaining about a fullback. That's your fullback. Just play him. He's a going crap anyway and rebuild there. They let him go. How do you do that? How do you no one else is blessed besides Penrith, and Penrith know how to keep their juniors. They're very smart. But besides Penrith, Brisbane have the best juniors coming through. It's unacceptable, man.
It should be them and Brisbane and Penrith in the grand final every year. Like,
no, not in the grand final. No, not in the grand final every year.
Or in the finals, like, every year. Brisbane should be in the final contentions almost every year. They used to be.
They used to be the club. You know what I mean?
every year they were there.
But take a look at who's running the club. Their former greats, Lockyer, Icon, other names as well. But like, how come they're not?
I don't even think it's just them. It's the same story with the Tigers. They've got people up there that are arrogant. They've been there for a long time in the behind the scenes, up in the chief executive, chairman, all that. They got rid of Bennett because they thought they knew what they were doing, and they didn't. All right, that was just personal grudges. They let get to them, and they have no clue how to run this football club anymore. They got to go. Another one. They've got to go because a new coach is not going to do anything. I feel bad for Kevy, right? But also, how did he get in? You know what I mean? He's mates with a lot of people. They got the job because of that. They won't sack him, but they won't sack him for the right reasons. You know what I mean? They'll keep him for the wrong reasons. But they're not helping his cause here. How do you let go of this, man? It just makes no sense. The recruitment, retention is... If you lose Katani Stags, that whole thing's got to go, honestly.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing he's going Parramatta.
Like, how does a team like Melbourne play in the finals every year and they're like far away from everything? They go collect players from Queensland and tell them come play for us.
Because they got their appointments right, in the high up.
Their back office is perfect.
They know what they're doing.
They've been able to build a system, and also having the same coach for so long helps that cause, and they just buy into what he says. And Frank
Panisi.
Yeah, him and Bellamy, what they've done for that club, very similar to what Robinson and Pilatus are doing at the Roosters. So they just want to buy into that, and mate, they don't have to sell the Storm because everyone knows the Storm, and they're happy to come down to Melbourne and play footy. You're away from the light, and because you're in Melbourne, and no one really, like, rugby league isn't looked upon as much as it would be in Sydney or Queensland because AFL takes over. So they're happy to come down to Melbourne, and there's a system there for them to excel, for them to play Origin, for them to play international footy. So why wouldn't you go? And
of course.
And a lot of clubs will look at the Roosters and will look at Melbourne, and aspire to be like that because that's what Brisbane used to be. That's what Brisbane, I think, I'm not sure if they still are, the biggest brand in Australian sport.
They are.
Business.
But Brisbane had that. They had the coach that was there for a long time, that knew the club, that knew the ins and outs of
everything.
How the junior system and everything. How do you let that go?
Because the back staff, the people high up, want to control, want to get involved with the football aspect that they have no clue of. No offense. They have no clue. And that's what happens. They get in his way. They wanted to get in his way. He's not going to cop that. He's been around too long, Wayne Bennett. You're not going to cop that. Get out of here.
Look how successful he's taken Souths, and he's only been there for 2 years.
But do you think Souths, the people that run Souths, are getting in his way?
No.
No, because they know what he's capable of. They know what he's going to bring. You've got to trust that.
Yeah, why would you want to get in? He's a super coach. Just let him do what he wants to do. You just worry about your stuff.
Yeah.
And make sure you're doing it to the best of your abilities, and just trust that him and his coaching staff are going to do a good job for your team week in, week out. So.
Like, he's off contract at the end of the year. Do you think Brisbane are going to reapproach him and tell him?
He won't go.
No way he's going back. If the same people are running that club, no way he's going back. No way. Why would he go back?
Why would you?
Doesn't need them. They need him. That's it. That's the story at the end of the day. These two clubs, Brisbane and West Tigers, have staff that have been there for too long, have chief executives, people that run the club for too long, and they're just stuck in their ways, arrogant, power trips, all right? And they don't cop any flack for what for what's going on. They never cop it. They just blame the coach. And it's the same crap over and over. It's going to be the same crap unless that changes. I'm telling you. Anyway, let's go on to quickly the conference system. So it's been proposed that, I'm not too sure. I don't think it's next year or anything, but maybe in 5 years when then another team's established, another 2 teams are established. There's going to be 18 teams, and there's going to be Sydney Conference and a regional conference. Personally, I love that idea. What are your thoughts?
So how would it work? Would you just play like everyone in your conference a certain amount of times, or?
So if it's 18 teams, so you'd verse your own conference 8 times, twice, and then you'd play 9 times. So the 9 teams that are in the other conference, right? So that's 25 games. It's still like the same amount of rounds.
And then what? So it's like East and West, and
East and West, like NBA, or
top 4 of East go through top 4
or top 5 or whatever, and yeah. So you have like a Sydney grand final, and you have a regional grand final, then you have a Super Bowl.
I don't think that would work. You don't have enough regional teams to do that.
They're not literally regional teams. I'm talking about New Zealand, Newcastle, Canberra. There is enough teams.
Yeah, you'd have New Zealand, Canberra, Newcastle, Melbourne, Broncos, Cowboys, Titans.
And then you're adding 2 more.
Yeah.
The new Brisbane team and maybe a new Zealand team. I'm talking about this from 5 years' time. But you don't think that'll work? I think it works. And I'll tell you why I think it works. You don't have to kick out any Sydney teams. You don't have to worry about that anymore. That's what I mean. But you know how they always want to keep the comp small and all that? Yeah. And there's always rumours of teams, we've got to get rid of this team. You don't do that anymore. You leave it as is. And you get to verse your own conference twice. You reignite the Sydney rivalries. You verse the other conference once. And you just flip it. And the draw will be way more fair than it is now. The draws are ridiculous now. Because they're on TV. It's because of television rights. And they get the call. They get the say now. They don't get the say here. So I think it's a mad concept.
So what? They'd verse their own conference twice, and then they'd go and verse every other team in the other conference just once.
Yeah. So the first 8 rounds, it's your conference.
Yeah.
All right. And then the next 9 rounds, you're versing each other.
Yeah.
And then the last 8 rounds, you verse them your own conference again for the second time.
It's still 25 games.
And it's still 25 games. I think, and you get an extra game. You know what I mean? You get 9 games around. I think it's an awesome concept. And you get 3 grand finals. You make a massive deal out of Sydney grand final. You're still going to get that. Then you get the regional grand final. And then you get a massive Super Bowl. You can take anywhere.
Yeah.
You can take anywhere.
They don't even have to do the Sydney one at ANZ. They can do it.
No. The thing is, you keep the Sydney one at ANZ. You do the regional one at Suncorp. So both places get a grand final. And then you take the Super Bowl to bloody Vegas if you want. Take it to anywhere, man.
I think you're stretching a bit. So.
No. I actually think that. Why not? If there's a demand for it, if you want to do it in New Zealand, in Perth or whatever, do it there.
Oh, yeah, they can. Not Vegas. You're stretching.
No, if there's a demand for it, then why not? Hong Kong, why not? China, you don't think they'll go to the game, the Super Bowl there? Of course they will. They're going in droves, mate.
It all depends how they market it. But
Yeah. Only if there's money in it. No, if there's money in it.
American or a Chinese market is probably one of the hardest things that you can possibly do.
Of course, but with this Super Bowl and making it this big thing, like, you know what I mean? And market, you can market anything these days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The NRL hasn't been overly great at marketing anyway.
But you'd think you could sell that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Super Bowl. I reckon it'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see it.
I reckon the coolest thing from this will be that rivalry again. Yeah. You get to verse those Sydney teams twice a year.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to... No, I reckon it's something that obviously we're going to learn more about, and I think you'll get a lot of people on board. So hopefully it works out.
Yeah, like this isn't the proposal is not like a thing that's been said. I'm just imagining it. Like that would be something cool. I mean, what are you laughing for? What, you think it's preposterous?
100%.
Yeah, go. Explain it, go.
Right, you can't just change the way the competition's run in the next 5 years. No matter whether you bring in 2 or 4 teams, it's not going to... You can't change the competition just like that.
What are you changing? What's changing?
You're literally dividing the game into 2 sectors.
Yeah.
If it was up to me... You'd literally divide it into a Queensland comp and a New South Wales comp.
A what?
A Queensland comp and a New South Wales comp.
How does that work?
And include Melbourne into the New South Wales comp and New Zealand into the Queensland comp.
Okay, so you're telling me you'd rather watch Bulldogs vs Storm twice a year than Bulldogs vs Eels twice a year?
100%.
No, Benny, not 100%. You know you don't even believe that.
Come on, man.
What do you
mean? Like, as if you would want to see Sydney teams verse twice over a year, and you have to verse the regional once.
But it won't work.
Why?
But why?
It's not going to be an overnight plan.
No, but why wouldn't it work? I mean, I don't get it. What's the issue? They all travel anyway. They all get home games. It's not like you got to go away 8 weeks in a row. It's a home game, away game, home game, away game. And you take it out of the TV. Tell me how it's great that Broncos versus Eels in round 1 and Broncos versus Eels in round 7. How's that great?
But they're not going to verse each other for the rest of the competition till probably if Broncos...
Benny, stop right there.
Yeah, they're not playing each other.
I think I got to explain this one to you privately. Let's go to the games this weekend. Round 8. of the Telstra Premiership. First game, Thursday night, Canberra versus South Sydney. I can't believe Canberra lost last week.
Yeah, they have been very disappointing. Like no one expected that. There's something going on there that no one knows about. But there's a lot of people picking Canberra this week.
Yeah.
Is there something happening at Souths that we don't know about? Or
I don't know. I'm not too sure. And it's maybe just the home factor, playing at GIO Stadium.
yeah.
But that hasn't been a factor this year.
No,
so
because they lost to the Warriors there not long ago. They lost to Parra there the other
Smashed.
week. And
So-
no, it'll be interesting. I reckon it'll be a good game. And
yeah.
South's obviously going to try and bounce or build off what they did last week, especially in that second half, and they'll come out firing.
Yeah, I think Souths will easily win this, honestly.
100%. I reckon Benji's scoring in a double.
Okay. Friday night, Melbourne versus Cronulla. Melbourne got the win last week. Yep, against Warriors.
Against the Sharks.
And versus the Sharks at Melbourne. Sharks lost to the Bulldogs. They got that.
The return of Will Chambers this week as well for the Sharks against his old club.
How did he not get suspended from New South Wales Cup? How did that not? Like, I don't get that.
He threw a punch.
Anyway, I guess no one cares about New South Wales Cup.
None.
Also, big news for the Sharks and Research Guru. I need you to get on this. Can you announce this for us? Big deal. I don't know if it's finalised, but
Yeah, there's no pen to paper yet, but apparently 3-year deal for Adam Reynolds, 2.4. Over 3
mil.
years.
Yeah,
So,
800 a year.
I think it's well deserved, man.
100%. Like, why wouldn't you pay him that?
Yeah, like I mean, they
And why wouldn't
disrespected
he
him.
take that?
No, of course he stays in Sydney, and
It's not like he's moving too far anyway.
no, and they're not a bad team. So he probably, like I
If
said
anything,
last week,
he'll add more value to that team.
of course, and I said that last week. If he goes there, that's a massive upgrade from Chad Townsend. Sorry, but it is. You know what I mean?
Isn't Chad Townsend going?
He's gone. He's already gone to Cowboys. So I think they've done very well here. Cronulla
Yeah,
stolen a really good player.
they'll get him.
No, I think it's done. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's done. Yeah. So Melbourne, Ben.
Ben probably go for the Sharks here.
Go, Ben, because you know what? I'm interested, because, we're going with your tips as well. We'll change it if you change it.
Yeah, so game 1 of the round, I'm going to go with Rabbitohs by 24. And game 2 of the round, I'm going to go with Melbourne.
All right.
They're just too hard to go against.
So there you go. Bit more sensible tips here this week from Ben. Disappointed there. Brisbane versus Gold Coast, Suncorp Stadium.
I don't trust the big brother over the little brother this week, so I'm going to go with the Gold Coast Titans up in Suncorp.
Yeah, I think we're going to Gold
They've
Coast.
got a huge forward pack in David Fafita and Tino.
Yep.
And I'm just going to go with the Titans. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you there, mate. Titans for me. Brisbane disappointing last week against Parramatta.
Yeah, Titans, mate. They'll come out strong, especially off the back of that loss last week. They'll come out and try and prove a point, and they're always looked as little brother to the Broncos. So I'd imagine they want to change that title real quick, and I think they will. And I don't think Broncos have. Unfortunately, they don't have what it takes to match the Titans' outfit. But with these rivalries, you never know. So.
Like, the thing is, Brisbane's got a really good forward pack. You look at it, Lodge, Turpin, Haas, Ricky, Pangai, Carrigan. Like I say, a really good forward pack. But it's changing too much in the backs. And Milford's back, Tyson Gamble, I don't know how he's going to go.
It's another new halves coming.
You know what I mean? So they really haven't figured it out there. So, yeah, Gold Coast 100%.
Can I make a suggestion before we go to the next game? I reckon Brisbane should bring in an old, experienced fullback since they've got him. In their top 30 in Carmichael Hunt, and just give him a run. Like, you've got nothing to lose.
I think you'll find he's not allowed to play till round 10.
Why is that? What's with this new rule of round 10?
It's not a new rule, it's just a rule. So they can't include him into the top
You
top
said
30.
that about Deets. Yeah, he's made his...
They could have got an exemption because injuries.
Oh, okay.
So you're right, but he will come. Like, he's guaranteed coming in. So I don't know if he'll make a difference. He's 35, man. So I don't know. Speaking of Brisbane, quickly, another possible rumour.
Brisbane.
Yeah. Come on, Research Guru, man. I'll give you one job, bro. Mitchell Moses, all right? Mitchell Moses has been offered or has been talked to by Brisbane. They're offering him a ridiculous amount of money. At this point, they got no choice, right?
Well, firstly,
Yep.
everyone's allowed a blank here and there, so just excuse that.
Yep, keep going.
But yeah, look, I think it's the wrong decision if he goes there. I don't think he'd make that much of an impact. He's got Joey Johns in his corner at Para, and there's no better person to learn off than someone like him, a great. So why would you move?
Even that, he's got a great team at Parramatta. Why would you move from there? But money talks, man.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he's gonna go money. He'll
but
do
is he
rubbish in his first season.
But is he guaranteed to stay? That's the question. If
Well,
he stays
just
at
take
Parramatta.
less money and stay.
But is he guaranteed to stay? It's not even that. It's they've got players coming up. You know, we know this for sure, right?
But Para offered him.
No. Para, he's got an option in his favour.
Yeah.
And he's got to make a decision by round 10 if he takes it or not. If he takes it, that's cool. But is he going to get a big deal at the end of that? I'm not too sure. Because what if they stuff up next year? You might not get that demand again. If Brisbane's offering you a ridiculous amount of money, I mean, I know it looks like a dire situation, but it's not that bad of a team, honestly. If you put him in there, they're chasing Sean Johnson as well. If you get them two in there, that's a really good combination. Because they're not keeping Milford. So, sorry?
You know their financials, do you?
Sorry, mate. Just give that back to him. Sorry, mate. What are you on about?
You're going over the cap there.
Yeah? Are you salary cap auditor now, huh?
Come on.
Tell me, how much are they going to go over?
Let's say Mitchell Moses is on 900,000 at Parramatta.
Yeah.
And they bump him up to 1.1 mil for 3 years or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is.
And they bring in Sean Johnson on a mil. That's already 2 million out of the.
Who says Sean Johnson's getting a mil?
He came off the bench for the Sharks last week. He's not getting a mil. I'll tell you that much.
And who's Milford's mil going to?
Mitchell Moses.
Ah, there we go. We got
they got money again.
Quick maths.
Here we go.
So it does work out. And I think, and they've got this audacious plan to go for Ponga the year after.
I doubt they're going for Ponga.
Sorry?
I doubt they're going for Ponga. Ponga will literally be going to Union once his new Newcastle deal's done.
Well, his Newcastle deal's done at the end of the next year.
Didn't he sign another 4 years?
All options in his favour. So he gets to say yes or no. I'm telling you, the contracts are ridiculous. Anyway, back to the game. We're going Titans, yeah?
Yeah.
We're going Titans.
By the way, I think Warriors turned down the option of getting Sean Johnson back.
They did.
I don't blame them, honestly. Because they got to rebuild, man. They can't go looking back now.
I think even the senior players had an input. They're like, no, don't bring him back. That's what I was reading anyway.
I mean, it did dog him, so technically.
They got rid of him.
Yeah.
Oh.
I listened to his podcast with Blake and the Bar.
Fair enough.
That's it.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Oh, there you go. That means then they just wanted to move on because they did what they could with him then. There you go. This game, for me, match of the round. Penrith versus Manly. Manly's been on a tear.
Big game. A few weeks ago, you wouldn't have said that.
No way.
But now with Tommy Turbo coming back and what he's done for the club in 2 weeks is unbelievable.
Crazy.
They've scored, 70-odd points in the space of 2 weeks, or probably close
conceded
to 80 points.
And conceded 6.
Conceded 1 try. And so, well done to him. Obviously, an exciting team to now watch. Penrith will be a little bit nervous, I'd imagine. But it'll be a good game. You know, it's not at Penrith, it's at Carrington Park.
So it's at Dubbo. So
yeah, so anything. No, Bathurst.
Oh, Bathurst, sorry.
Dubbo. Anything could happen. Anything could happen. But expect a big game from Isaiah Yeo.
Oh, 100%. And they
The
get
country boys
Coruscant's back. That's a massive win as well. And the main thing for Manly is they're unchanged, I'm pretty sure. So
If Penrith can lock down Tommy Turbo, then
yeah, but can they? You know, it's a different proposition than when they beat them a couple of weeks ago. Completely different. And Penrith, I'll be honest, I know they've been winning. I know you called the upset last week with Knights. It didn't work. But there was a moment. There were moments that it could have gone the other way.
Yeah.
But Penrith just got away. Just got away with it. But
they just know how to win.
Just too classy, man. And I feel like
they're due for a loss.
That's what I'm saying. And Manly's on this tear.
No such thing.
I know, but it's a term that gets floated around.
I wouldn't blame anyone. I wouldn't blame anyone tipping Manly.
So I would love. This is, as you just said, the game of the round. I don't usually tip against Tommy Turbo, but this week I'm doing a silly and going Penrith.
Silly.
Yeah, and over Manly.
Okay.
by
Another sensible tip.
by 13 plus.
Ooh. Blowout. You reckon that this little
Tommy Turbo
riding's gonna crash?
It's got to crash at some point.
Okay.
Tommy Turbo excited you last week, and it's just gone.
Done.
Well, Penrith know how to grind out games.
They're going to grind out a 13 plus victory. I can't wait to see that one. Penrith.
Yeah, Penrith, mate.
I got to go Penrith just. I got respect for Manly, bro. They're playing very well.
Also, I was reading headlines this week about like people saying, "Oh, can Manly stop Tommy Turbo from playing Origin?"
Yep.
What's that about?
They can.
They can, but I don't think they will.
They won't.
No way. Again, it's just something to talk
It's a
about.
good way to get rid of someone if you don't want them.
Yeah, like they're worried about his health or some crap. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they don't they earn like $30,000 a game or something?
Not even 50. Yeah, but they're doing it from their standpoint. Like
it makes sense.
But Tommy wouldn't even accept that, man. He wants to play Origin. You serious? How many moments has he had in Origin in only 2 years? Like, you're doing yourself a disservice not playing him, honestly. They'd have the best backline, honestly, nearly in history, if you put him in there. He's guaranteed a spot. If he wasn't guaranteed a spot, maybe. But I think he's guaranteed a spot. Here's the next game. I can't wait for your tip here, Benny. Bulldogs Parramatta. Talked about Bulldogs earlier. Great win. Got off the mark. There's confidence. There's a bit of hope there now. But Parramatta, man, they're on another level.
High-flying side at the moment. Playing a lot of confidence. Free-flowing football.
Yep.
And I think they'll be a good side to
No,
watch this week as well.
no changes to Canterbury. And they bring in... and Parramatta bring in Madison. He's on the bench. So played last week. Heard he played well. I don't know if you were there.
No, I didn't get to go to the game, but I heard he scored a try.
Okay.
Yeah, I was fortunate to go out and watch him.
Sorry.
Played well. Couple try assists. Or actually, he nearly assisted one, but dropped the ball. But yeah, other than that, he'll be a welcome addition for the club. And yeah, I reckon he'll be raring to go. So obviously to get that full 80 under his belt with a bit of match fitness, he'd be good to go this week.
Yeah.
So was it hard to like choose between your mate and your mate's brother? You
what?
couldn't drive to Newtown?
I had my game at 3 o'clock, so
Okay, fair
so
enough.
it worked out well. It was only around the corner.
You know, he was just raring to say that. Like, I didn't put him up to it, man. But
Rubbish call.
all right, so I'm going Parramatta.
Yeah.
The head says Para, but the heart says Bulldog.
Of course,
so I'm gonna go with
Oliver.
the heart and just tip Bulldog.
I hope you're right. I hope you are right.
Yeah.
I'm wrong, but like
Oh,
I'm gonna
come
go
on.
No, what? No, then tip
Back
Parra.
yourself.
Don't
Back
say
yourself.
that I'm wrong.
Back yourself.
Do you actually
Alright.
think we can win?
Yeah, and I reckon
So
we're gonna beat Para by 18 points.
No. Stop right there. End the show. If he's right, he's running the whole thing next
I'm
week.
not talking next week
And you and I and Fadi are not allowed to say a word.
until he tells us.
Yeah, we will do whatever you want.
I don't want.
I was going to give you that privilege just picking the Bulldogs, but you said 18, so we'll go with that.
Yeah, sweet.
Unbelievable.
18.
Unbelievable.
I reckon Nick Cottrey's first try scorer.
He's still going.
He's still going.
Saturday night. Knights, Roosters. Knights had a good go last week against Penrith. Can't blame for that effort, but they're not at that level. Sydney Roosters, they've named Tedesco. I don't know if he's going to get the run.
I hope he does.
I hope he doesn't because of Supercoach. No, but honestly, I do hope he does, but it was a pretty nasty hit. You'd think he'd be out for a week, but who knows?
I reckon Roosters will keep him named until like game day or until like they need to put the team list out and then they'll pull him out last minute.
Mm-hmm. I don't. If he's out, you reckon Suwali debuts? I don't think so.
He'll probably debut at 18th man.
No, what they'll do, they'll put one of them. They'll put Brett Morris at fullback.
Yeah,
and they'll put Ikavala on the wing.
yeah.
Why? What's wrong with
Or Joseph Manu.
Yeah,
Or Joseph Manu. One of them go fullback. But they got cover, man. Just shows you the depth this team's got. I can't see Newcastle. I know they're home. I can't see them beating the Roosters after that performance they had on Anzac Day.
Roosters too strong, I think.
I reckon Roosters by 30.
I told you, I'm not gonna debate.
We can't even argue it anymore.
I'm not saying anything. Sunday afternoon.
Right, next week we're gone.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, but if you get 1 out of 8. Saturday afternoon, the first game, Warriors North Queensland. North Queensland's been on a run, 3 in a row, but I think it ends on Sunday against the Warriors.
Yeah, out at Central Coast on Sunday afternoon. Who would have thought Cowboys 3 on the trot? You know, good on them. That win against Canberra last week to come back and to win.
Massive.
And, you know, against Canberra. Canberra's not a bad side. Like, they are a tough side. Obviously not playing to their full potential at the moment, but for the Cowboys to have that confidence within themselves and the team, and you know, to bounce back and win that game, mate. There's no reason they can't win this week. So
JT's back this week.
Oh, yeah?
Jason Tamalolo.
Yeah, so it'll be a good game. Both teams, you know, obviously itching to get. You know, they'll need another win as well.
Yeah, I reckon Cowboys by 12 and Tamalolo anytime try scorer.
All right, your tip. Sorry. Just cut you off, but yeah.
Cut me off, that's okay. I'm going to go to Cowboys again, make 4 on the trot.
Man, I think Warriors are due for a win, man. Like, I don't know. I think Cowboys, they've been playing well. I think they play better up there at North Queensland. The trips, I'm not too sure. It's a bit of a trip for them as well.
Warriors are missing a lot of depth.
I know they are, but I think they've got enough this week. They had about 4 out by kickoff. You know what I mean? So they were really unsettled last week. They've got all those boys back. So
that Berry that's playing for them in the centre,
Berry, yeah.
Would that first career game. So did he play last week?
He played last week, yeah. Okay. So he debuted last week. But I think I know they got beaten by Melbourne, but they didn't give up. I think Warriors can win this, man. Honestly, I think they're really good. Last game, St. George versus Tigers.
To cut you off there, the heart says Tigers, but the head says St. George, and I'm going with my head and tipping St. George.
My headphones can't hear you.
So I'm going to tip St. George.
St. George, yeah. I think St. George too.
Yeah, I'm going to go St. George as well. Obviously, the past 2 games they've lost their last 2 games.
Yeah.
You know, I thought after that Parramatta win they had 3 weeks ago that they'd be, you know, trying to start a little streak, and obviously didn't work out. So what a way to sort of, you know, get it going again. And playing in Wollongong on Sunday afternoon doesn't get much better than that.
Nah, and yeah, look, bit of a reality check for St. George, but this is a game they should win. Tigers, I look at their changes. I think it's 1 change. I think Joseph Leilua's back in, so yeah,
that's a pretty decent change. You'll get him like.
Look, it's one change. I would have made about 4 or 5 changes, honestly. The way they've been playing, it would have given some of those New South Wales Cup boys a run, but it's pretty tough to bring them in. So, all right, St. George all round. We're at that moment now when old mate here, Benny, gives us a bit of Benny Confidential. Who did you meet up with this week? Any famous people?
Bumped into an old Bulldogs hooker at Henson Park, Michael Leisha. Didn't stop and say hi. I just waved in and just kept walking.
Yeah.
And also saw Andrew Fafita on the sidelines supporting his Newtown team.
Yep.
He was supporting them pretty hard.
Didn't talk to him. Didn't ask him about his, how life is or anything like that.
To Andrew Fafita?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I got the chance to do that. He was mouthing off pretty hard.
Fair enough. What are you up to this week?
Going to the Gong on Saturday night to treat the Tigers.
Okay, beautiful. So we're getting a report on that next week, I'm sure.
I don't think so.
Why not? Confidential?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is the point. It's just the confidential part.
Madge's listened to it. He's had a word.
Must have.
And he goes, I don't want you talking about it on the potty.
We'll see what we can get out of it.
Yeah, look, we need scoops, mate. Yeah, I told you, this is your segment. I gave this
I'll let you know
who
who I treat and what is spoken about.
What is this? I need that, man. All right? Easy. All right, thanks, mate. Boys, been a wonderful show once again. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Ben,
love ya.
Thanks, mate. And Research Guru, thanks, mate. You did a bit of work today. Really good.
Yeah, I'm not used to all that work, but
Look, that's what we pay you for. And no shisha today, huh?
No, gotta take a bit.
What's
of a
that vape?
Oh, mate,
Flavour?
just pineapple. Just
Yeah.
sometimes you use it as a substitute, but not always here. But yeah, gotta cut down. Unfortunately, move on. But no, thanks for the week. Thanks for the week.
That's it. Thanks. See you
Thanks,
next
boys.
week. Take care.
Cheers.
Enjoy the footy.